an honor and a pleasure to be here with Doris in the Hammond House. The Hammond House is an important institution for the Atlanta community. Dr. O.T. Hammond was a man ahead of his time in terms of collecting black art and restoring this house. And we are so pleased that Fulton County, under the leadership of then Commissioner Michael Lomax, saw fit to make this into a museum and enable it to be a place where African American art and images can continue to be shown. Let's see, like Bill Cosby would say, I started out as a child. But I started out not very far from here. We came to Atlanta, my parents came to teach at the Atlanta University Center when my brother and I were very young. I think he was a year old and I was probably about 5 or 6. And we lived around the corner, well, just on the other side of the AU Center on Beckwith Street, and grew up as children of the AU Center. You know, through that experience, we're exposed to a lot of art and culture that happened on the campus, because that was pretty much the only place we could go. At that time, West End was white, so it was not this was not the historically black West End. It was, you know, it was kind of the freeway made a dividing line. I have to say, we always had wonderful family photos that go back for several generations, and that's something that I think that also inspired me in terms of looking at images. I had cameras since I was a very young child. Everybody had a Brownie camera and an Instamatic and then a 110 and all, and I always liked, one thing it helped me to do was remember people's names, because I could write the name on the back of the picture. But it also helped me document what I was doing, what I was into. I never considered myself really a photographer for many years. I was just kind of documenting whatever political or social or cultural work we were doing. When I was in college, I ran across a paperback book that I think kind of changed my attitude towards it, and that was a book by Langston Hughes and Roy DiCarlo called The Sweet Fly Paper of Life. It wasn't the fancy hardback that Howard University Press did later. It was a little thin paperback, but it was the integration of the photographs and the story that I think really made me want to do similar things in terms of telling our stories, telling stories in the black community, and of whatever we were doing. I mean, so in this exhibit today, I have work from what I would call several series. I mean, one is jazz portraits, and I've been very privileged to, through the Atlanta Jazz Festival, through the CAU Jazz Series, to have been exposed to a number of jazz artists over the years and got the opportunity to photograph them during that time. I also had another exhibit last year in Macon that was called She Wrote. It really, Victoria Rowell wrote a book called The Women Who Raised Me, but these are women who influenced me. You know, there are women throughout this house who have impacted my life because of their political work, because of their cultural work, or because of social work. I think I had an appreciation of people and cultures coming up. We grew up in a household that was filled with art and culture. Most of it was Prince, but you know, we had images of Jacob Lawrence and Romare Bearden throughout the house. Our parents were educators. My dad was an anthropologist, so you get an appreciation of culture that Doris knew my dad well.